So my 2015 Infiniti Q50 has gone through a number of changes over the last several years, but there are a few items that remain on my wish list. Today I want to go over them, 6 to be exact. Thank you guys very much for stopping in. I appreciate the continued support on these videos. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping in. Consider hitting that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification as well. I try to do 3 videos every single week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I very rarely miss. I got 500 videos, 550 uploaded now at this point. So I'm sure if you have any questions regarding this platform or just kind of some modification stuff in general, I'm sure you'll find something of interest. The number one part that I still have remaining on my wish list for the Q50 would be adjustable upper control arms. I never really needed them on this car, although we are lowered on BC Racing coilovers. Alignment was within spec and I wasn't burning through tires, so there really was no need. But in order to dial in your fitment properly, you want adjustable upper control arms. So Z1 Motorsports happens to make a pretty affordable set. They're not the easiest to adjust in my opinion, just because of how they are designed, but the design is simplistic and effective. So I think it's a great bang for your buck option, but there are other options out there. But nonetheless, upper control arms definitely on a wish list. Speaking of adjustability and dialing in fitment, rear adjustable control arms fall on that list as well, particularly toe and camber. Toe kills tires. Camber, my fitment was perfect in the rear, so didn't really ever need them. But again, to dial everything in and to really do it properly, rear adjustable control arms is the right way to go, especially if you're lower than 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, something like that. That's when this car starts to fall out of spec, and you don't want to burn through tires. So making sure your alignment is dialed is essential. Number 3 on the list is brake cooling. For me, brake upgrades had been made, stainless steel braided brake lines, more aggressive pads, drilled and slotted rotors, and it was brake cooling just based on the driving that I like to do, tail the dragon, and hitting the mountains and stuff like that on a regular basis. Making sure we're keeping the brakes cool is really important, and I think Z1 Motorsports has a nice kit that comes together. And whether or not you go with a Z1 Motorsport brake cooling kit, or you kind of come up with your own design or components, which you certainly can do. There's options available for you. I think that's a good upgrade, but again, it really depends on the type of driving you're doing. If you're doing just a lot of straight line stuff or street racing, hopefully you're not, but if you are, maybe brake cooling isn't something that's on the top of your list. But if you live sort of in the old Smokies or the Blue Ridge Mountains, or you live in the Canyon area of California, for example, brake cooling is something that's definitely worth considering. Number 4 on the list, I'm going to say carbon fenders. I tried the carbon wrapped fenders for a while and I didn't like the look, but I didn't like the look because it didn't have the louvers. It wasn't the right color. It was too light of a gray, so the contrast from the front fenders to the door was just too much for me, and it just didn't work. It looked cool for a time and it looked cool in different lighting, but I like more of that black carbon fiber look and the contours of the louvers and the design elements of actual carbon fenders. Makes it look much better than just wrapping it, in my opinion. So, wish list item, carbon fenders. Number 5 on the list, and it's one that I just waited too long to do, and that is 2-piece rotors. I think I would go with 2-piece lightweight rotors from Z1 Motorsports for the Q50. Upgrading to the big brakes, you're adding a lot of weight, especially to the front end, a lot of unsprung weight and a lot of additional rotating mass. And I noticed a big change, a big detrimental change actually to the performance of the Q50, and adding those much heavier brakes slowed the car down in 0 to 60, made it feel a little bit heavy in corners. So I think the next logical step would be lightweight rotors. So on all 4 corners ideally, but definitely up front for sure to start. They are pretty expensive, but you're shaving something like 15 pounds or something off each front corner. I got to check those numbers again, but a substantial weight reduction going with these 2-piece lightweight rotors from Z1 Motorsports. Definitely worth it. And finally, number 6 on the list is custom headlights, demon eye headlights, something a little bit unique for the front of the Q50. It sort of needs it. I like the factory headlights, but you know, there's just something about the custom lights that have drawn me in. It really grabs my attention every time I see it. The only thing that makes me hesitate, or has always made me hesitate for going for these lights, was the price point and actually finding somebody legitimate to do them. There was one person that was doing them a couple of years ago that I thought I was almost ready to pull the trigger, and he started scamming a bunch of people. I can't remember his name now, but a bunch of people were sending in lights and paying him up front and not getting their lights back or not getting their money back. So that's a tough situation. And from that point on, I was just always hesitant to pursue this upgrade. And it's not something I like to do on my own. I hate wiring. I hate lighting kind of stuff. I don't have the patience for it. And I certainly didn't want to be responsible for pulling the front lens off the light and then, you know, just not having it seal up properly or just messing something up. It's just not a project I wanted to tackle on my own. So it's always sort of been on the wish list. I love the look. I just never pulled the trigger. But those are my number 6 wish list items for 2023. Let me know what you guys are planning on doing for your Q50 in the coming year. I always like hearing what's going on in your garages and what projects you're taking on. So let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your continued support on these videos. Onward and upward for you guys, onward and upward for the channel. Looking forward to a prosperous and successful 2023. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.